Good morning to you. My name is Tony Stern. I am the co-founder of PropertyOnion.com, and I'm here to give you a roundup of last week's auction results in Ohio and Florida county auctions, I should say. So without further ado, and before I start, if I can just remind you, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you'd be very kind enough to hit the subscribe button and also the reminder bell, that will let you know when we post a new video or upload anything to our channel. Without further ado, let's go to the roundup for last week. And the last week is the 11th to the 15th of March. There we go. So just as I said last week to you, you can filter out these results yourself. We do it for you, so you can see at a glance how the auctions performed last week. 255 properties changed hands between the Ohio and Florida county auctions. And we are only reporting on third-party sales. That's not sales that went back to the banks or the plaintiffs. This is deals that happened between people like you and me, independent from the plaintiffs, who we beat each other up at auction to win these properties ourselves. Anyway, you can see that the market value that was sold was $27,070,726. And the money that changed hands at the auctions was $17,754,297. So that meant that on average, and that's important, on average, 34.42% of all properties sold at the auctions, sorry, I'll say that again, all the properties that sold at the Florida and Ohio counties auctions on average sold under market value by around about 34.5%. And that doesn't mean every property sold at that, it just meant on average. So please, it's important to remember that. So I get a chance to very quickly, I get like about an hour and a half to look at the auctions that took place and to pick out a couple of properties that I would like to share with you, just to give my opinion and give you a little bit of insight of what you should be looking for. So today I've chosen two properties from one end of the spectrum. One is in Broward County and the other is in Ohio, in Franklin County in Ohio. So let me just show you, first of all, the one that is in Broward. Now, just so that you know, didn't really work for me that time. Here you go. That these, if you live in Broward County, or any county, by the way, and you are signed up for a free subscription at PropertyOnion.com, you will get an email like this listing all the properties that sold in the previous week's auctions, and also a list of all the upcoming auctions that you can look at and take a view on. But as I said, sign up for free at PropertyOnion.com. I've put the link in the details in our channel, and you too will get an email like this, and you can take a peek at all the action. So the one that I like in Broward, of course, this is 963,600 was the winning bid, and this was at Jardine Way in Weston. So let me just get up that property in the PropertyOnion.com website. There we go. Sorry, I'm not as dexterous as I used to be around the website, and this is version 2, so it's changed a little bit, so I'm just getting used to it myself. But I really like this property for many reasons. I mean, not least that it was bought for 963,600 auction, but the POV, which is the Property Onion valuation, and I'm just going to make sure that I've got this on the screen, the Property Onion valuation is 1.338 million and some change. So someone's done very well here. And what is very interesting here as well is if we go down a little bit here, and we can see that the plaintiff, his maximum bid here was only going to be 1,139,290, but decided to let it go for the 963,600, which just shows you that you've got to turn up to every auction, and it doesn't matter what the plaintiff's maximum bid is. Sometimes they will evoke it, and sometimes they won't. They'll let the market take care of itself. This is a deal, I think, where the plaintiff was the Bank of New York Mellon, so we never know what they're going to do from one time to another. But let me just show you the property on the Appraiser, on the Broward County Appraiser. And if we just go to photographs, because these actually are better. There are photographs available on like Zillow and Redfin and whatever, but I can't show them to you because of copyright infringement. But this is actually on the Broward County site. So you could say that this is a very, very nice house. This picture was taken in 23, so it's quite recent. So it just looks all in good condition, the roof and everything else freshly painted and whatever. So it's, it really is quite decent in my humble opinion. I'll show you what it looks like in Google Earth as well, because it's in a country club called Western Golf and Country Club, I think it's called. But just take a look. There is a way of, if I can, there we go. But if I just tilt it a little bit, I'm not terribly great at this, but you can see that it's really in a nice neighborhood. It's waterfront. And I made a few notes here on the property, and let me see if I can share them with you. And that is that, I'll make it a little bit bigger so I can see. I should have put my glasses on, but I forgot. It's a 5-bed, 5-bath. Actually, I think that's wrong. I think it's a 5-bed, 4-bath. 3,288 square feet on nearly 11,000 square foot lot. Now, what I like about this is very rentable, very rentable. And I looked up some of the comps for the rents, and it's $8,000 a month. So that will give you, I'm estimating, around a 6.5% to 7% return on your investment, which is not too bad. And the HOA isn't terrible either. Again, according to my research, I've only had an hour and a half to research it, it's $175 a month, which is not terrible. There's an initiation of $2,500 to $10,000, and the dues annually are $5,000 to $10,000. I would imagine that depends whether you join all the golf clubs and the social clubs or whatever. There's also health and fitness and a dining, 3 or 4 restaurants and a pool, and several pools, in fact, and tennis courts. Everything you'd expect from a decent club. And I thought, for the money, 1.3 million for all of this, and it's not a terrible HOA. And the initiation, even at the high end of $10,000, is not terrible. And again, the annual dues of $5,000 to $10,000. This is good living at not a bad price. So anyway, that's why I wanted to show it to you, and I'd like to see what your comments are below. Only send me nice comments. I won't reply to the horrible ones. Anyway, so from the sublime to the ridiculous, and I went to Franklin to have a look at the email for that. And let me just actually turn this off, so I won't be able to follow. I've got a sequence that I go through here, and don't want to go off kilter. Anyway, so this was last week's top Franklin auction results. And again, you live in Franklin, you're going to get all the Franklin results every single week of the past results, and upcoming auctions as well. So again, please take your time, sign up for a free account at PropertyOnion.com, and you'll get exactly what I'm showing you now. And if you sign up for the premium account, which is not very expensive at all, I think it's $95.82 for 6 months. It's like less than $16 a month. You can get a cup of coffee for that every day at Starbucks, could you? But anyway, I digress. I liked, for some reason, this 1727 Niagara Road, Columbus, Ohio. So let me go and show you that property on the PropertyOnion.com website. Now, if you're a flipper, this is a flipper's house without any question whatsoever. It's an in and an out. And I spoke to my friend in Cleveland, and he tells me that Columbus, and especially this area, is really hot at the moment, and nothing sticks around. And I'll show you why I like this house in a minute. First of all, the POV, Property Onion value, is $146,200. And it was purchased for $95,400. The valuation info, let me just check on that, because I want to see. Well, there's a 73% confidence score with that, so that gives you an idea. And this is our proprietary valuation tool. So we're saying with 73 to 75% confidence, this is the value of the property. But nevertheless, when you're paying $95,400, you can't go too wrong. So I went to the Appraiser site, and I haven't been to the Franklin Appraiser site before, and it's not too hard to navigate around. But what I liked about this is that, I like the transfers thing, and just to see what the action was, how many times it's been sold, etc., etc. But as you can see, this was originally bought by this Patricia Strider in 1991 for $16,300, and nothing else has really transferred since then. So I'll tell you what we do is we go to Google Maps, and I'll tell you why we're going to go to Google Maps, because it gives you a better perspective of what this property is all about. So this was in 2019. I think probably the roof needs a lot, and the guttering needs a lot of work. But look at the rest of the road. All nice houses. It's a nice road. Well kept houses. And there's nothing wrong with buying the worst house in a really good road. So I'm kind of thinking that this would have been a good, I would have certainly looked at this myself. Let's go back to Google Maps and, okay. So as I said, it needs a bit of TLC. My gut tells me that if I was buying a flip, I'd certainly look at this. It's got potential, especially when you're looking at a 146,200. Even if it was 140,000, you're in for 95, and you know, tops you spend 20-25,000 on this. It's, I don't know what the rest of the title report showed, if there's any other encumbrances, but I think this was bought by a local. This is not a company, but it's obviously someone that's got some local knowledge. Again, I'm making an assumption here, but anyway, nice little deal, in my opinion, which I wanted to share with you. So just before I go, I wanted to, something just came across my desk not more than 2 days ago. It was on Friday at 4 o'clock. And I thought this was interesting. I put the link in the channel so that you can see it. And this came from the Daily Mail. And it says that home foreclosures are rising as Americans hit with higher living costs as they run out of savings to cover mortgages. Here are the states worst affected. And for better or for worse, depending on what side of the fence you're on, and obviously I don't wish anybody financial hardship, but the business of foreclosures is what we're in. So, you know, we have to be a bit businesslike and look at what's available. And here, this article gives you all the different figures of all the states they say are affected, but they say that one of the worst, or a couple of the worst affected states, is Florida and Ohio. And it just so happens that we have all the information in Florida and Ohio on our website. So, you know, there you go. So I thought I'd share it with you. It's in the link underneath this email. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. As I said, I look forward to joining you every week for a roundup of the previous auctions in Florida and Ohio. And don't forget that join us for free, and you get a list of all the county foreclosures in Ohio and Florida that have gone on the week before, and you get a list of what is coming up. All you have to do is sign up for free. The link is below there. And all I want to say to you is have a very safe week, safe trading, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me.
Find a better deal, PropertyOnion.com.